Here's something coaches don't talk about enough. Sometimes what you're doing isn't working. And the most important skill isn't having the perfect technique ready to deploy. It's recognizing when to abandon the technique you're currently using. That's the contrarian truth we're going to explore. That noticing what isn't working is just as important as knowing what to do. Let's name the reality. Sometimes what you're doing is simply not working with this particular client in this particular moment. The myth is that the most important skill is having the perfect coaching technique or the ideal question ready. But here's the truth. The most important skill is recognizing when to abandon the technique you're currently using and pivot to something more effective. This isn't failure. It's responsiveness. It's reading the room and adjusting in real time. ICF marker 7.06 says the coach notices what is working to enhance client progress. Notice the active words here. Notices, working, enhance. This isn't passive observation where you just watch what happens. You're continuously paying attention to what's happening in the coaching conversation. And you're making real-time choices based on what you observe, adjusting your approach to serve the client's progress. This is active, ongoing discernment throughout the entire session. So what does this internal monitoring actually look like? There are questions you should be continuously asking yourself during every coaching session. Is this landing? Are your questions, reflections, or observations resonating with the client? Do you see recognition or connection in their response? Are they engaged? Is the client present and actively participating? Are they leaning in or pulling back? Is progress happening? Are insights emerging? Is awareness deepening? Are they moving closer to their desired outcome? And finally, is this approach serving them? Is the specific technique or question you're using right now the right tool for this client in this moment? These questions should be running in the background constantly. Let's talk about what it looks like when something is working. You'll recognize the signs. The client's energy shifts upward. Insights begin emerging naturally. They're going deeper into their thinking. Their voice becomes more animated or focused. When you see this, stay with it. Don't rush to move on to the next technique or question. You don't have to shift just because you think you should ask something else. I remember a session where a metaphor opened something up for my client. I could have moved on after a couple of minutes, ask my next great question. Instead, I stayed with that metaphor for 10 minutes because it kept producing insight and awareness. Let what's working develop fully. Now, when something is not working, and this will happen, you need to recognize those signals too. Energy feels flat or stagnant. Confusion appears on their face or in their words. Resistance emerges. The conversation circles without progress. Here's what I want you to understand. This is information, not failure. You might be using the wrong tool. You might be asking at the wrong depth. You might be pursuing the wrong thread for this client. Trust that check engine light feeling when something feels off. Your internal sensing is valuable data about what's happening. Don't ignore it. Here's how I think about it. We have a responsibility to see and to pay attention to the way we're working with this client. Is it effective? Is it working right now? In this moment, am I using the right tool? Am I using the right technique? Am I asking the right type of questions? Not in general, not theoretically. Is this specific approach effective in this exact moment? That's the continuous evaluation we're called to do. It's not something you check once at the beginning of a session. It's something you're aware of throughout. Let me name the mistakes I see coaches make. Plowing ahead with the technique you plan to use, you had this brilliant question prepared, so you ask it even though the conversation has moved to a completely different place. Jumping around too quickly. something is working and producing insight, but you move on because you think you should vary your approach or cover more ground. Ignoring your internal signals, you feel that this isn't landing, but you continue anyway because you're uncertain about what else to do. The alternative? Pay attention and respond. Continuously notice what's happening and make choices based on what you observe, not what you plan. Here's what I want you to remember. Noticing what is working is about ongoing evaluation and honest self-awareness throughout every coaching conversation. When something works, lean in and stay with it. When something doesn't work, that's valuable information to guide your next move. Neither is failure. Both are data. Now, once you notice something isn't working, what do you actually do about it? That's where flexibility becomes essential. And that's exactly where we're headed next.